Far beyond Earth, in a cold and distant part of the galaxy, a powerful alien empire ruled many star systems. Their fleets were large, their weapons were strong, and their leaders believed no young species could challenge them. To them, humanity was only a small and noisy civilization that had just begun to explore space. Inside a massive alien command station orbiting a blue star, several high commanders gathered around a glowing holographic table. The room was quiet except for the soft hum of machines. A recording appeared in the center of the table. It showed a strange human ship floating in space. The ship looked unusual. Its shape was simple, almost unfinished. It was smaller than most military ships used by advanced species. There were no visible heavy cannons, no thick armor plates, and no signs of powerful engines. It looked more like an experiment than a warship. One of the alien commanders leaned forward and studied the image carefully. Then he suddenly laughed. His laugh was loud and sharp. Soon the other commanders joined him, the entire room filled with mocking voices. "So this is the famous human prototype," one commander said with amusement. "They really think this small machine can scare anyone," another added. To them, humans were predictable. Humans were emotional, ambitious, and often desperate to prove themselves. The alien empire had watched humanity grow for many years. They saw humans fighting small wars, building colonies, and slowly expanding into nearby systems. But to the aliens, none of it looked impressive. A tall alien officer standing near the edge of the room activated another hologram. This one showed a small human military outpost near the outer border of human space. The outpost floated quietly near a lonely asteroid belt. Only a few defense platforms surrounded it. "This is Outpost K-47, the officer explained calmly. "A minor human station guarding a trade route." The commanders barely paid attention. One of them waved his hand dismissively. "If humans truly have a powerful prototype ship, they would show it in battle," he said. Another commander smiled slowly. "Perhaps we should test them," he suggested. The room became silent for a moment. Then several commanders nodded. The plan was simple. A small alien fleet would travel to the human border and attack the outpost. The humans would panic, their defenses would collapse quickly, and if the mysterious prototype ship existed, the humans would be forced to reveal it. The alien commanders were confident. They had destroyed stronger civilizations before. A single human outpost meant nothing to them. Within hours, a fleet of sleek alien warships left the command station and jumped into hyperspace. Their engines burned with blue light as they traveled across the dark ocean of stars. Days later, the fleet arrived near the human outpost. The alien ships moved into formation like silent hunters. Their sensors scanned the area. The outpost was exactly where the report said it would be, floating quietly near the asteroids. Strangely, there were no distress signals, no emergency messages, no signs of panic. The alien commander standing on the bridge of the flagship narrowed his eyes. "Humans should be afraid," he said quietly. But the outpost remained silent. Then one of the sensor officers suddenly spoke. "Commander, we are detecting something unusual." The commander turned toward the large viewing screen. "What is it?" he asked calmly. The officer hesitated for a moment before answering. "A ship, Commander, approaching from deep space." A new signal appeared on the scanner. The shape of the vessel slowly formed on the screen. It was small, strange, and very familiar. The alien commander looked at the image and smiled with amusement. "So the humans finally brought their toy," he said. But deep inside the silent darkness of space, the ship continued moving toward them. And none of the aliens realized that their laughter had just started a war that would end their entire species. The alien fleet slowly moved closer to the human outpost. Their ships surrounded the small station like hunters closing in on weak prey. Bright lights from their engines shined across the dark asteroid field. Inside the alien flagship, Commander Varex stood calmly on the bridge. He had commanded many battles before. Most of them ended quickly. Smaller civilizations usually surrendered the moment they saw the power of the alien empire. He expected the same thing now. "Send them the surrender message," Varex ordered. A signal officer pressed a few controls. The message traveled across space toward the human outpost. "This is the Imperial fleet of the Zareth Dominion," the message said. "Power down your defenses and surrender immediately. Resistance will result in total destruction." The alien crew waited. Seconds passed. Then minutes. But the human outpost sent no reply. Commander Varex frowned slightly. Humans were known for talking too much. Silence was unusual. "Scan the station again," he said. The sensor officers checked their screens carefully. Station power levels are stable, one officer reported. Defense platforms are active, but they are not targeting our ships. Varex crossed his arms. The humans were not panicking, they were not begging for mercy, they were simply waiting. The commander felt a small wave of irritation. Very well, he said coldly. Prepare the fleet for attack. Across the battlefield, alien warships activated their weapons. Long glowing cannons moved into position. Energy fields surrounded the ships as their shields came online. The human outpost still said nothing. Inside the outpost command center, human officers watched the alien fleet through large screens. The room was tense, but no one looked afraid. A young officer spoke quietly. Enemy fleet in full attack formation. The station commander nodded slowly. Hold all fire, he said. The officer looked surprised. Sir, they are about to attack. I know, the commander replied calmly. Back in the alien flagship, Commander Varex raised his hand. Fire, he ordered. Bright beams of energy shot across space toward the human outpost. The attack lit the dark battlefield with flashes of blue and red light. But something strange happened. The beams never reached the station. Before the weapons could hit their target, the energy simply disappeared, like water falling into an invisible hole. The alien crew stared at their screens in confusion. What happened to the weapons? One officer asked. Weapons impact did not register, another officer reported nervously. Commander Varex stepped closer to the display. Fire again, he ordered sharply. The alien ships launched another wave of attacks, stronger this time, more weapons, more power. Again the same thing happened. The energy vanished before touching the outpost. Now the alien crew began whispering to each other. Their sensors showed something unusual forming around the station. A strange field surrounded the human outpost, a field that seemed to bend space itself. Commander, a sensor officer said slowly, we are detecting a new energy signature. Where? Varex asked. The officer pointed toward the far side of the asteroid belt. There. A small ship appeared from the darkness of space. It moved slowly and calmly toward the battlefield. The alien crew immediately recognized its shape. It was the same ship from the human recording. The strange prototype they had laughed at. Commander Varex stared at the screen with a small smile. So this is their secret weapon, he said. The ship looked harmless, its surface was smooth and simple. It had no large weapons, no heavy armor, and no visible missile systems. But as the ship moved closer, the strange energy field around the outpost grew stronger. Alien ships suddenly began reporting system failures. One cruiser lost its weapons. Another lost its navigation controls. A third ship reported that its engines were shutting down without explanation. Confusion spread across the alien fleet. Commander, an officer said with rising fear, our systems are failing. Varex's smile slowly disappeared. On the screen, the small human prototype ship stopped moving. It simply floated in space, silent and calm. And for the first time, the alien commander began to wonder if the humans had been hiding something far more dangerous than anyone in the galaxy had imagined. The battlefield had become strangely quiet. The alien fleet was still powerful, but something was very wrong. Ships that once moved with perfect control were now drifting slowly through space. Inside the alien flagship, Commander Varex stared at the main screen. The small human prototype ship floated calmly near the human outpost. It looked harmless, almost peaceful, but every second it stayed there, more alien systems began to fail. Report, Varex said with a hard voice. A nervous officer checked his console. Multiple ships are losing power. Commander, weapon systems are shutting down across the fleet. Another officer spoke quickly. Navigation systems are unstable. Some ships cannot move. The bridge of the flagship became tense. The alien crew had never seen technology like this before. Their empire had conquered many worlds, defeated many species, but no enemy had ever disabled an entire fleet without firing a single shot. Commander Varex clenched his hands behind his back. This is impossible, he said quietly. On the screen, the human prototype ship slowly turned toward the alien fleet. A soft glow appeared around its surface. The strange energy field around the battlefield grew stronger. Suddenly, another alien cruiser reported a failure. Commander, we have lost all weapon control. the officer shouted. Moments later, another ship reported the same problem. Our engines are not responding. Shield systems offline. Communications are unstable. The reports came one after another. The powerful alien fleet was slowly becoming helpless. Verex felt anger rising inside him. Target that ship, he ordered, pointing at the prototype. The weapons officer tried to lock onto the small human vessel. Commander, we cannot, he said nervously. Why not? Verex demanded. The targeting systems cannot see it clearly. Space around the ship is distorted. The commander stepped closer to the screen. His eyes narrowed. The space around the prototype ship looked strange. The stars behind it seemed to bend and shift slightly, as if the ship was quietly bending space itself. Then a calm human voice suddenly appeared across all alien communication channels. This is Captain Elias Ward of the United Earth Fleet, the voice said clearly. The alien crew froze in surprise. Humans were speaking directly to them. You attacked a human outpost, Captain Ward continued calmly. You believed we were weak. You believed we were bluffing. Commander Verex did not reply. He simply listened. You were wrong, the human captain said. Inside the flagship, officers continued trying to restart their systems. But nothing worked. The strange field from the prototype ship had spread across the entire battlefield. The human voice continued. For many years, humanity studied alien technology, Captain Ward said. We learned from every battle, every mistake, every war. The prototype ship slowly moved closer to the alien fleet. We built something new, the captain explained. A system that controls energy and gravity, a system that can reshape the battlefield itself. Alien officers stared at their screens in disbelief. You are inside its range now, the captain said. Another alien battleship suddenly lost all power. Its lights faded as it drifted helplessly into the darkness. Commander Verex finally spoke. What is this weapon? He demanded. There was a short silence before the human captain answered. It is not a weapon, Captain Ward said. It is the future. Across the battlefield, the alien fleet continued losing control. One ship after another went silent. Their powerful empire had brought an entire fleet to destroy a small human outpost. But now that fleet could not even fire a single weapon. The prototype ship stopped moving again, floating quietly among the helpless alien warships. Inside the flagship, Commander Verex slowly realized the terrible truth. The humans had not been bluffing. The strange ship they had laughed at was never weak. It was only waiting for the right moment to prove what humanity had truly become. The battlefield near the human outpost had changed completely. Only hours earlier, the powerful alien fleet had arrived with confidence. They believed the battle would be quick and easy. Now their ships were drifting helplessly in space. Inside the alien flagship, Commander Verex watched the silent fleet through the large viewing window. Dozens of warships surrounded them. But most of them had lost power. Their weapons were useless. Their engines were silent. The strange human prototype ship floated in the center of the battlefield like a quiet guardian. Commander Verex felt something he had not felt in many years. Uncertainty. Status report, he said slowly. An officer answered with a weak voice. Commander, 80% of the fleet has lost full system control. The remaining ships are losing power every minute. Another officer spoke nervously. Our communication signals are unstable. The energy field from the human ship is blocking long-distance transmission. Verex looked back at the screen showing the prototype ship. A single small vessel had stopped an entire alien fleet. For the first time, the commander began to understand the danger. This was a trap, he said quietly. But the truth was even worse. Far away from the battlefield, in deep human space, several new ships were leaving hidden shipyards. These ships looked almost identical to the prototype near the outpost. Human engineers had been working in secret for years. The ship near the outpost was not the only one. It was only the first. Back near the battlefield, a new signal suddenly appeared on the alien scanners. Commander, a sensor officer said with rising fear, multiple ships approaching. Verex turned sharply. How many? He asked. The officer swallowed slowly. 5, no, 7 ships. The bridge became silent. 7 ships. 7 human prototypes. Moments later, The dark space around the battlefield began to glow softly as the new ships arrived from hyperspace. One after another, the human vessels appeared like silent shadows. They moved into position around the trapped alien fleet. The energy field grew stronger. Inside the alien ships, systems that still worked suddenly shut down completely. Another alien cruiser went dark. Then another. Commander Varex realized the terrible situation. They were surrounded. The human voice returned to the communication channel. "This is Captain Ward," the calm voice said again. "You entered human space without warning, you attacked our people, and you believed humanity would fall easily." The alien commander listened silently. "For centuries your empire ruled through fear," the human captain continued. "You destroyed weaker civilizations and believed no one could stop you." The human ships slowly moved closer to the disabled fleet. "But today you learned something important," Captain Ward said. The prototype ships activated their strange energy systems again. The stars around them bent slightly as gravity itself seemed to shift. "Humanity learns quickly," the captain said. Across the alien fleet, the last working systems finally failed. Ships that once ruled entire star systems were now nothing more than powerless metal drifting through space. Commander Varex understood what this moment meant. If these ships returned home, if the alien empire learned what humanity had built, the galaxy would change forever. But he also knew something else. The humans would not stop here. The attack on the outpost had started a war. And now the alien empire had just seen the first step of humanity's response. A response that could reach every corner of their civilization. And far away, across the stars, the powerful alien empire had no idea that this single mistake would soon bring the beginning of their end. The alien empire had never known fear like this. Their once mighty fleet floated helplessly in space, powerless and drifting. They had attacked what they thought was a weak human outpost, and now their entire force was trapped, their pride destroyed. Commander Varex stood on the bridge of his flagship, his hands clenched tightly behind his back. He stared at the strange human prototype ships moving calmly among his disabled warships. The air on the bridge was heavy with panic. Officers whispered to one another, fear written clearly on their faces. "This is impossible," Varex muttered, his voice low, almost lost among the murmurs. From the communication channel, Captain Elias Ward's calm voice rang out again. "You attacked our outpost, you underestimated us, and now you are powerless." The alien commanders realized that the humans were not just fighting for survival, they were showing their full power. Every prototype ship activated its energy field fully. The strange field bent space and gravity. Alien warships drifted further, their engines dead, their shields gone, their weapons useless. Across the battlefield, small explosions erupted as the prototypes dismantled the alien ships piece by piece. There was no mercy. The humans remembered the attack on their outpost. They would not forgive. One by one, the alien fleet ships went dark. Entire cruisers disappeared from sensor screens. Their destruction silent, precise, and complete. In the alien capital, panic spread quickly. Leaders who had never known defeat now watched helplessly as reports came in. Fleets were lost, systems were falling, and the humans were advancing, their technology unstoppable. Back near the battlefield, the prototype ships moved slowly, calmly, almost like hunters circling their prey. The human voice spoke again. "Your empire ruled through fear and arrogance. You believed no one could challenge you. You were wrong." Commander Varex sank into a chair, his mind racing. The empire he had served for decades, built on power, control, and fear, was disappearing before his eyes. The humans had turned the tables in a single battle, with a single outpost as the spark. Across space, the galaxy began to take notice. Other alien civilizations watched quietly, fear and respect growing. Humanity had shown what it could do. Even small humans, with quiet patience, could destroy an empire. The humans did not speak of conquest. They did not celebrate loudly. They simply sent one message across space, simple, clear, and unforgettable. Never laugh at human innovation again. And with that, the prototype fleet turned back toward human space, their mission complete, their power demonstrated. The alien empire was silent, its fleets destroyed, its pride shattered, its leaders in shock. For the first time, the galaxy knew that humanity was not weak, that Earth's secret prototype was only the beginning. On Earth, far from the battlefield, humans celebrated quietly. Engineers, scientists, and commanders knew that this was only the first step. The galaxy would remember this day, a day when humans showed that their courage, intelligence, and innovation could defeat even the strongest empire. And in the dark corners of space, where other civilizations waited and watched, one truth became clear. Humanity was no longer small, no longer weak, no longer to be laughed at. A new era had begun, the era of humans, the era of the secret prototype. And the galaxy would never forget it.